We all have these big goals, right? These ambitions. We chase them, often with like huge bursts of inspiration. But then you hit that point where it takes real sustained effort. It can feel like climbing a mountain that never ends. So, what actually separates the people who make it to the top from those who, well, kind of give up along the way? We all see success in our mind's eye, but the road there, it's rarely smooth. Well, the sources we've looked at for this deep dive suggest there's this one powerful answer. It's often misunderstood, though, and it boils down to just one word: discipline. And let's be really clear right away, this isn't about being super harsh or, sucking all the joy out of life, not at all. Our mission today is to really dig into what discipline actually is. We'll pull out the key ideas from the material you brought, find some surprising things, maybe, and see just how powerful it is. Think of it less like a restriction and more like the essential bridge, the bridge between wanting something and actually achieving it.
Exactly, a bridge. And it's one people often get wrong. So we're going to explore why discipline really is this kind of quiet power, the thing that shapes habits, builds genuine resilience, and turns your biggest visions into something real. It's not just the what, but really understanding the why behind discipline.
Okay, good. So let's dive right in. One of the biggest mix-ups seems to be the difference between discipline and motivation. We all chase that feeling, don't we? That like jolt of motivation to get started on something new, but it fades. It's powerful, sure, like a spark. But what happens when that spark just fizzles out?
Yeah, and what's really interesting there is that initial motivations, often it's chemical, it's a dopamine hit, it definitely gets you out of the gate, no doubt. But discipline is that steady internal engine. It keeps you going in the marathon long after that first chemical rush is gone. I mean, think about an athlete, someone training for something big. Do you really think they jump out of bed every single morning just buzzing with excitement to train?
Probably not every day now.
Right. But their discipline isn't about feeling like it. It's about the system. It's about getting up at 5 a.m., putting on the shoes, running the miles, period. And it's that consistent, maybe unglamorous effort, day after day, not their mood, that builds the strength to win. So just imagine, how much more could you achieve if your daily actions weren't just based on fleeting feelings, but on steady commitment?
That's a great way to put it. Motivation as the spark, discipline as the steady flame. I like that. And if it's about this consistent, maybe even dull effort sometimes, it makes you think that huge achievements aren't usually about one big dramatic moment. We tend to focus on the big break or that aha
Yeah.
insight.
And if it's not one big act, then what is it? Well, our sources really stress this. Mastery, real achievement, it doesn't come from one massive effort. It comes from the buildup, the cumulative power of small repeated actions. They compound over time. It's what the material calls the compounding effect.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some great examples given, like a writer who just commits to one page every single day. In a year, they've got a book.
Just one page. It seems so small.
Exactly. Or someone saving just a little bit of money, but consistently. Down the road, that builds into real financial security. Each little action might feel, well, pretty insignificant right then.
Yeah, almost pointless sometimes.
But discipline transforms those tiny efforts into something huge. It even shapes who you are. You're not just doing writing, you're becoming a writer. You're becoming a saver.
That shift from doing to becoming, that's really powerful.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What small, consistent action could you start today that would begin to change things?
Okay, that becoming aspect is key. And it kind of leads us into something that sounds wrong at first. This idea that discipline, which feels like limits and rules, actually leads to more freedom. How does that even work? It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does sound backward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this is where understanding the psychology behind it really helps. The sources point out that without discipline, you often end up with what they call decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue.
Yeah, having to decide every single day, should I exercise? Should I eat the healthy thing? Should I start that big project now? It just drains your mental energy.
Yeah.
Discipline, by setting up routines, systems,
Yeah.
it actually frees you from making endless small decisions.
Ah, okay, so it automates some choices.
Exactly. It frees up your brain power for the bigger stuff. Think about the freedom that comes from disciplined finances. It gives you the freedom of choice, right, to grab opportunities or just handle unexpected problems without panic.
Or health discipline, giving you the freedom of energy, of being able to do things physically.
Precisely. Without discipline, you're not really free. You're kind of a slave to your impulses, to distractions, to, well, regrets about things you didn't do.
Yeah, I can see that. Feeling trapped by just inertia.
So if you've ever felt that way, like you're just stuck trying to decide constantly, Maybe discipline is actually the key to unlocking more mental space, more freedom.
That's a total reframing. Wow. And it makes me think of that classic example of Thomas Edison and the light bulb. We know the story, but it's often told like he was just struck by lightning. Pure genius. But the sources really highlight the incredible grinding discipline behind it all.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
His genius and his discipline were like totally intertwined. You couldn't separate them. Remember when they asked him about failing thousands of times? His answer wasn't about failure at all.
Right. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Exactly. And that wasn't just a clever comeback. It was his method. It was disciplined iteration, a scientific process. He didn't just throw his hands up when one filament burned out. He systematically tested, logged the results, crossed off what didn't work, day in, day out.
Until he found the one that did.
Yes. That relentless discipline to keep experimenting, keep tweaking, keep going, even when everyone else probably thought he was nuts. That gave us the light bulb. And the point isn't just about inventing world-changing things. It's about applying that same daily discipline choice, refine, learn, persist to whatever you're pursuing.
So it's really not some magic quality you're born with or without. It's more like a muscle you build through constant choices.
That's exactly it. Discipline isn't like flipping a switch. It's something you build day by day. It's forged in those small daily decisions. Choosing to get up when the alarm goes off, choosing to focus when your phone is buzzing, choosing the long-term benefit over the quick, easy thing, pushing on when it feels hard when you want to quit.
And every time you make that choice.
You strengthen that muscle. You're not just getting closer to some external goal, you're actually changing your own character, reinforcing that you can do hard things. That's like a quiet superpower building inside you. So when we boil it all down, this deep dive really shows like discipline isn't about, harsh self-punishment. It's truly the bedrock of any real lasting success. It's that quiet force shaping habits, building resilience, turning big ideas into actual reality.
Yeah, the bridge we talked about earlier.
Right. And the contrast is pretty stark, isn't it? With discipline, almost anything feels possible eventually. Without it, even the greatest talent, the most amazing potential, it could just sit there, wasted.
So as we wrap up, here's something to think about, maybe take away from this deep dive. Consider this. What's one small choice you could make every day? Something maybe a little uncomfortable, something you've been putting off. What if you embraced that one thing starting today, knowing that with every single time you make that discipline choice, you're not limiting yourself at all. You're actually deliberately building your own path, a path towards greater freedom, real mastery, and the accomplishments you truly want.